if you are not being forced to do that thing, which means that it is one of your hints.
So let's try to go a little bit backwards and try to understand where do you come from,
So
and why comics?
Yeah, so where do you come from has 2-3 connotations. It's the place, it's the background, and also my parenting, because I feel that's very important. Okay, so when it comes to the city, it is Nasik, which is close to Mumbai.
You're still in Nasik?
Yeah, I'm still in Nasik.
Wow.
So 200 kilometers from Mumbai, small town, 15 lakh population, very chill place in terms of the temperature also, and in terms of the people also. It's quite I mean, you can reach any place within 15 minutes.
Yeah.
I want to meet people quickly, especially my friends. When it comes to the background, so I was living in a neighborhood. I'm still living in a neighborhood which is G+2, ground plus 2 floors. It's like a C-shaped locality with a garden in the center and a gulmohar tree. Again, why is this relevant, right? Why am I talking about my locality? Because I did my master's in urban design, which is basically city designing. So how you design cities. And in that, we used to talk about this kind of a locality, a neighborhood locality. So that is where you know people, you connect with people. The section of that old city plays a very important role on how the kid or the child is being brought up. So this helped me understand values.
Yeah.
Okay, I believe in that because of my neighborhood, because again the third part is my parenting. So my parents, you can say they're a mix of the generic parents, which everybody says, don't do this, don't do that, you should focus on engineering, doctor. Some part of them is that, but because my father is also an architect, that is where he understood that okay, he knows the architecture course, so he knows that this course will teach him a lot of things, but I should not force, because he knows that the architecture course is all about creativity and being free. So he never told me that don't do this. He always told me that you do this, as long as it has returns, please do this. If it doesn't have, then it is of no point, because he is from that practical background there. He had to take care of his family and a lot of things. So that eventually came down to me.
The survival generation.
Yes, the survival generation, and we are the I would say the privileged generation, and then we have the ones which are even smaller, are the luxurious ones.
Yeah, the abundance generation.
And the social media generation, I would say. And my father always used to say that you always have to be excited. I did not understand that when I was small. What does that mean? Because if I can play, I'm always excited, right? But after a certain age, there is something else which is as an excitement. It can be the cricket thing also. If you're taking it as your career, then it can be also exciting. But your things change. So what was excitement for me? I had to understand that every day. So what was that thing in my childhood or in my architecture course which made me excited every day? So again, I was not conscious enough or aware during my childhood because nobody told me this. Now that I can backtrack it, I know certain things which actually helped me. So he introduced us because he was like, he's an architect, he knows about creativity. Let them be exposed to everything. Even we had Lego blocks.
Wow.
So that itself helped me understand the forms and everything in the architecture course. Like before, I'm talking before that. But it helped me visualize. The comic books helped me understand colors. It helped me understand storytelling. So these were certain things and a lot of other more things also, but I'm talking about these particular things because this helped me be excited. You are always excited. So there are certain things which are mundane, which are going to be mundane, but there are a lot of things which you have to make it exciting, because that exciting thing is a hint of what your passion can be. See, when my father introduced to me something else, maybe he introduced me, yes, exactly, he introduced me to novels. Nothing came to my mind because it was a lot of text. That itself is a notion that, okay, I'll try one more time. I'll try it thrice, 4, 5 times. No, it is not my thing. It is not making me feel excited. That am I going back and thinking about, okay, when I go from school, I will read that, continue that chapter? No. It was the comic book. It was the Lego blocks. It was even to some extent trying to copy the comic characters. I was not visualizing, but I was just imitating it, whatever that was. Just it was because it was making me excited. Like I was looking forward for it, and it came naturally. Then nobody forced me to tell that, okay, you should read this or do that. I'm doing it myself. So nobody is forcing you to do those things. That is one hint of finding your passion. If you are not being forced to do that thing, which means that it is one of your hints. Because you are not aware at that time that is it my ultimate passion. So the childhood part, to be very precise, the childhood part is where I think I was exposed to think, to experiment, to look into comics or novels or anything, and I eventually found out that I feel very excited when I do these 3-4 things. So when I came into architecture, so let's quickly go to architecture, because that's also a very important part. Even though the school is bad, these 4 or 5 things which I feel very excited about, I thought if I cannot understand the course, let me do those things. So I spent a lot of time presenting my ideas, because in the architecture school you have to present your ideas visually, you cannot speak. And that was a good thing for me, because I cannot speak. So I'll try my level best to put everything on the sheet so that I don't have to speak. So this itself made my presentation, not the graphics, I would say. When I say presentation, does not mean the graphics. There's a story, there's a start to end.
Idea.
Yeah, presenting an idea from the start to end, visually, not getting confused, everything is clear, and in the end, the evaluator is impressed. It is the storytelling, the story which I was telling in the sheets, which impressed, and then I found that this is a very good way. But when I went to masters, because the masters college was a really good college. When I say good college, it means that you cannot fool them. People think masters as a job opportunity, right? If I do masters, my pay scale will increase. I don't know why I did not think of that. I thought this is something which will make me as a very strong person. So I can be confident when I talk with Prathamesh about cities or anybody. I have a knowledge bank which is making me confident, and that is where my intellectual, or I would say the analytical mind, my analytical mind or my critical thinking mind was polished in that particular era, that 2 years basically. So whatever I did not learn in 5 years, I learnt more than that in those 2 years. So my graphics, my visual, my storytelling skills and the critical thinking combined, and then when I came out of the college, I immediately wanted to start, but then I thought it's not good to directly start that. Let's work in an office. That's again sort of peer pressure. There was some peer pressure and a little bit of parents also, that you have to work. So I thought, okay, let me give a 2-year time. So this was decided. So my office should be for testing it out. And I saw some firms and I thought this firm seems good enough. And I went there and I said that this I want to work on this sector, and they said, okay, we'll give you a confirmation within a week. And then they said 45,000 will give. I was thinking about my thing, not about the office. So I was thinking about that. So then to support this, they gave me 45,000 salary. They used to in fact tell me that, oh, you want to do this? You can do this, do it. It's not like don't do this. They were promoting me to do this, whatever I had in mind. Because at that time I was just thinking about something. I was not looking for likes, because people feel that likes is important. It's not. It's the reach and fun. So I know this is the only format I have. I cannot go beyond that. I tried, I failed.